darkness was mine. Didn't know it was there the whole time. Secret I told you long ago. Back from the dead, out of control. With your eyes open, see with your eyes closed. Drive into the sunset, leave it all on the road. 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 Remember the as I fall, I'm a bastard, heartless smile. Hear my laughter, love's on trial. I am broken, you are fire. Lies unspoken, heart's desire. Darkness was mine. Didn't know it was there the whole time. Secret I told you long ago. Back from the dead, out of control. I'm ready for the fallout. I'm ready for
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Macromaster coming at you. Today is Friday, April 18th, 2025. Wow, that thunder is loud. Today, I'm going to be playing some Minecraft Bedrock Edition, continuing to build up my base and my tram system. Without further ado, let's get into the game. So right now, I'm cutting a path through this mountain to get to a village that I found on the other side of this mountain from where I was working previously. I think I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour of what I've been up to since last week. By first exiting out of this tunnel. And going down into this tunnel. So yeah, I'm starting here at this nether shrine. And I am working my way this way. And this was just a placeholder so I could find my way back to where I tunneled up. Actually, I should probably just go right back into that tunnel. Alright. So we're in this tunnel. I have two branches on this tunnel as well. I have this branch going off in this direction, which I'm still working on. There's some water feature issues there. And then further on, I had this section, or this branch, which pops out here. Goes over some small hills. And then into this mountain. And if we just pop up over this mountain, it's kind of hard to see in the trees, but there's a village over there that I'm hoping to get to. I'm just taking a quick look. But yeah, there's a village in the a forest village over here. I think there's a forest village. Nope, no forest village. But there's this village over here that I'm trying to get to. That requires going over the mountain. Well, would normally require going over the mountain, but instead I'm going through it. Just because I love tunneling. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I am hoping to eventually get this small section connected to my main transit system. Eventually. Again, little update. I did, for those of you who may not have been with me last week or last Friday, I was unable to get the collector's popcorn bucket for the Minecraft movie. The TNT block collector bucket, which is what my local theater had. I say had because they were on opening day of the movie. Opening day. Second showing of the day. They were sold out of the collector bucket. I'm hoping to be able to get that. I'll be able to get one soon. My wife and I are going to see Cheech and Chong's last movie on Sunday. We don't have any family to spend Easter with where we live, so of course we're just going to probably forego the usual Easter stuff and go with going to see a movie. Yay! once I get to that village, my plan is to build myself a house attached to the tram station that I also end up building. I just want to make sure that I have clearance so that the fishies can get past underneath, and if I throw a boat on here, I can get past on the boat. And man, I could have gone around this little lake here, but I think it's easier to just go over. Hmm. Yeah, get out of the freaking way, you dummy. think I'm going to put down some tracks because I do want to juke this over, and I don't want to juke it. I don't want to juke over the track without knowing exactly where that track needs to turn, because the powered rails don't turn, unlike the regular rails, which do turn. So we put down the rails. Again, to provide consistent speed, we are going 3 powered rails, 3 regular rails. So that we have consistent speed throughout the tram system. Alright. Out of the tunnel and into the light. This might be the longest straight stretch of rail I've ever put down so far. Right. See if I can get to where everything is, because I've got an ad break incoming is what Twitch is telling me. And I like to do my ad breaks well, I leave it on automatic, but what I do is I use the notification as a reminder to take a break. And then I manually run the ads. So I have some control over when the ads actually run. And then by taking a break while the ad is running, you guys don't have to worry about missing out on any of the stream while the ads are running. which I think is a great compromise between running mid-roll ads that run automatically and just ignoring them and playing through them, and running ads manually but only running pre-roll ads. Oops. Alright. Okay, once I get to the other pond crossing, and I'll take the break. Alrighty. Let's get the rest of the powered rails at least put down. Alright. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break to run some ads. When I come back, quick word from sponsor, and then we'll keep playing. So, back in 5 minutes. Don't go nowhere. right, we're back. Quick word from sponsor before we get back to the game. Today's sponsor is Dubby Energy. Dubby Energy is a great energy drink. It comes in powder form, 30 servings to a tub. That comes out to like $1, $1.25, $1.50 a serving. It's really great. It's made right here in the US of A. It contains lots of vitamins and minerals, no artificial fillers, no sugar. It has nootropics, organically derived from coffee berries, so very, very tasty, very, very effective. Lots of really cool flavors. This flavor is Japanese soda flavor. I swear on my life, you add this to seltzer water, and it tastes just like ramen, but sweeter, which is amazing considering that ramen has real sugar in it, and this does not. If you want to try it for yourself, you can head over to w.gg, use promo code MACRO1 at checkout, save 10% on your order, and help support the channel. Delicious. All right, back to the game. And yes, you may have noticed the last week or so that I've been trying that new format where I instead of doing the sponsor read in this scene, I do it in the chat scene instead, and that helps me to focus more on you guys and telling you about Dubby. And you really have to try it. Okay. So let's throw those up. Okay, let's see. I want to line this up. So I'm thinking it's probably going to end up being about here. Just to make sure that I have it lined up right. I'll fix it later. And I definitely am going to want to put in more tracks. Before I actually do the bend in the... You know what? go put in more tracks to make sure that I have the bend in the tracks where I need it to be. All right. Oops. All right. Here we go. Oop. Looks like we're going to have to put in a little bit of a base for the track base. Base for the base. Huh. I guess I'm doing another tunnel. Sort of. break incoming. Let's get to that next tree. All right. Take a quick break. Abadana, good morning to you as well. I will be back in 5 minutes. Don't go nowhere. Alrighty, we are back. Time to keep going. I just hope that I actually get to the village by the end of the stream. Yep, we're going to bridge over this instead of trying to go down and around. Ooh, excuse me. No problem. I have no problems at all with people multitasking while watching my streams. We are going to go underwater for a moment here. Well, I am making a tram system. Right now I'm connecting. There's a temple all the way over there that I'm not temple, but a nether shrine over there that I'm connecting to this village, which I'm realizing I may need to juke things over real quick again. Yeah, this entire world is connected via trams. It all started with I wanted to make an underwater tram system to tram link to connect my base with this village I found on a neighboring island, and it just kind of ballooned after a while. The whole idea was I play a lot of World of Warcraft as well, and so I wanted to make a tram system kind of like the tram that connects Stormwind with Ironforge, and this kind of just kind of grew as I kept finding more and more cool features. Yeah, it's kind of why I started. One of the many reasons I started streaming in the first place was I wanted to make sure I didn't get addicted to World of Warcraft, so I limit my WoW time to just when I'm streaming, for the most part. I mean, being a disabled veteran, I really have a lot of time on my hands. Because I've got the PTSD, anxiety, Navy. Yeah. I did Navy for just shy of 3 years, and then I got discharged because I kept failing the physical readiness test because I kept getting injured. First it was my ankle, then it was my back. Yeah. And my father was in the Navy, my uncle was in the Navy, my cousin was in the Navy. Apparently, according to my grandmother, though anything my grandmother says has to be taken with a ginormous, or anything my grandmother ever said has to be taken with a ginormous gallon of salt. But according to my grandmother, on my grandfather's side, my family can trace our naval lineage all the way back to the captain of the Baham Rashard. So, though again, I can't say with any certainty how accurate that is. Although it was hilarious when my stepmom invited my wife and I to go on an Alaskan cruise, and my father, who's a Navy man, and I, who was a Navy man, both ended up getting seasick the first night on the ship. I ended up going through so many doses of Dramamine. And I eventually got my sea legs. But the thing is, I never was on a ship, so I don't think I ever really got sea legs, or developed sea legs, so to speak. My father, however, he was on the USS Oriskany, which is was an aircraft carrier. I have no idea what ships my cousin was on, but his last duty station was at the World War II Memorial in Hawaii. And because I was admin, I was a yeoman, so I did a lot of personnel files and everything. I know that you can take early retirement at 15 years. My cousin was in for 13 years. All he would have had to do was somehow figure out how to stay in Hawaii for 2 more years, and he could have retired in Hawaii. I mean, I was trying to figure out how to, because I joined the Navy to see the world, got stuck at a landlocked naval base in Fort Worth, Texas, of all places. So, being a huge nerd, and the DFW Metroplex basically being the headquarters for most of the animation houses here in the United States, for companies that bring over anime from Japan. I would have loved to have been able to retire. I loved Texas. I loved being there. I loved the weather. See, I was born and raised in Pennsylvania. So, nasty winters. And it... Oh, I would, but my wife likes having... my wife likes actually having at least most of the different seasons. And personally, I kind of like having most of the actual seasons too. Yeah, I actually was originally born in Pittsburgh. Yeah, not that I recall. I mean, I remember in the middle of December being on the phone with my parents and having my stepdad complaining about I remember middle of December calling my stepdad and having him complain about not being able to ride his motorcycle because of the fact that there was like 2-3 feet of snow on the ground. And I'm like, oh, it's like 70 degrees here and I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Okay, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But yeah, I currently live in Western Washington, so we get some semblance of winter here. Very rarely do we get any snow. Unlike Pennsylvania, where my wife and I used to live in Erie, Pennsylvania before we moved out here, and the last winter we were there, we got nearly, within a 36-hour period, nearly 6 feet of snow. It was like, nope, not doing that again. And so we came out here because our friends lived out here, and I had just gotten the back payment for my back injury, which ended up being nearly 10 years of back pay. And so it was like, even though it was only 10% on my back, it was still like $20,000 of back payment. And so we're like, well, we have $20,000 to move. We have friends who live out here. We can stay with them for a couple of weeks until we get our own place, and then yeah. Plus, at the time, Pennsylvania was just getting their medical marijuana program going, and it really did help a lot with the PTSD and the anxiety. And so we're like, let's just go out there where we know that cannabis is cheap and recreationally legal, so I don't have to worry about blowing money on a doctor's recommendation. And yeah, it also helps with my tremors too, but my tremors are less to do with my time, are not service connected. They're actually connected to my autism, which I was not diagnosed with until I moved, or until I got discharged. So I had no idea I was on the spectrum. Though it does explain why I had such a hard time in the Navy. But now I have to fight tooth and nail just to get any kind of compensation for my disabilities, which sucks. Ugh. I mean, I just just had a bunch of claims denied. I was in for reevaluation for my back, which was originally rated at 10%. I was hoping to get my back increased, but of course they denied the increase. I also have 10% for tinnitus, and so I was hoping, I have 10% for my tinnitus, so I was hoping to get migraines secondary to tinnitus, and insomnia secondary to tinnitus, and they approved tension headaches as service connected at 0%, which makes no sense because my migraines, not tension headaches, my actual migraines, when I get them, knock me down for an entire day or more. And so, yeah, telling me that my migraines are actually tension headaches is like, no, I applied for migraines, not tension headaches. And then they changed my insomnia claim to make it look like I was trying to claim that my autism is service connected. I'm like, no. Autism is not service connected. My autism may have been made worse by my time in service, but it's not actually service connected. There's no way anybody in their right mind would ever think that autism is service connected. So I'm fighting through that. Oh boy, I've got so many issues going on right now. I'm fighting with my local police department. I had a incident where I was a victim of a road rager who followed me home, and when I pulled into my apartment complex and got out of my car to check my mailbox, he came right up behind me and was still raging. And so I pulled out my knife to defend myself because I may not have been in combat at all, but gosh darn it, I ain't stupid, and I did get at least some training, and so I was prepared to defend myself under the castle doctrine, the stand your ground laws, and somebody saw me with my knife in my hand, semi-pointed in the other gentleman's direction, and called the police on me as if I was the aggressor. And I'm like, so now I have to try and. There was a whole thing with excessive use of force on account of the police thinking that I was the aggressor, and instead of when showing up doing any kind of investigation or de-escalation, just decided to tackle me against my car and put me in cuffs. All the while my wife is out of town because she was dealing with her father passing away, and so she wasn't around to help in any way. She wasn't around to, tell the police that I wasn't the one attacking anyone, that I was being attacked. Because the whole way home I was on the phone with her and telling her, hey, this crazy guy just got out of his car at a light and was, banging on my window. I'm like, I'm just going to ignore him and hopefully he goes away. So there's that. Then my stepmom got me a 50cc engine scooter for my birthday, using the last of my father's VA disability checks after he passed away. So his last check that got deposited before he passed away, she used to get me a scooter for my birthday, which was really nice. And I was just picking it up from the mechanic that did the post-delivery inspection and brain fart. The post-delivery inspection and repairs, because it was one of those Chinese knockoff brands that you get off of Amazon. And so right out of the packaging, I had most of it put together, but I was having a hard time with the handlebars being not connected properly, and then the carburetor needed to be adjusted because it would start but it wouldn't stay running. And so I had to take care of that. Alright. I want to get over there, but I don't. I mean, I would have done it myself, but I don't have the tools. I watched all the YouTube videos, all the instructional videos I could find on how to pull the carburetor from one of these little scooters and make the adjustments so that it would actually work and stay running. But I just didn't have the tools. So I was like, I'll just take it to a mechanic. They can take care of it, and yeah, I won't have to worry about it. And I was just picking it up from the mechanic, and I was on my way to the DMV so that I could get it registered. And then as soon as I was done at the DMV, I had USAA not on the phone, but I had them queued up waiting for my call to get it insured through USAA's motorcycle insurance partner, which I think is Progressive. And so they were expecting my call, and I had to call them and tell them that I got in an accident and my scooter was totaled because I was making a left-hand turn at a traffic light, and it was one of those turns that's got two turning lanes, and I was in the outside turning lane, and there was a dump truck with a trailer behind it in the inside turning lane. I was in the leftmost lane, and in the lane next to me was the dump truck, and the trailer end of the dump truck, as we were both making the turn, started swinging into my lane. So I went to accelerate a little bit to avoid getting hit by the trailer, and because of the angle of the turn that I was already in, I ended up sliding into the front end of the dump truck. The police tried to hit me with unsafe lane change, which it's like I was not attempting to change lanes. I slid because I was trying to avoid getting hit by the dump truck, the trailer on the dump truck, and I got the ticket dismissed, but it took so long that I ended up not needing to go to the hospital because, I'm a military guy. I didn't feel the need to go to the hospital. I was like, I'm fine. I'm a little scraped up, but I'm fine. So I didn't go to the hospital, and because I didn't go to the hospital, and I had to wait for the ticket to get dismissed before attempting to file suit against the other driver, no attorney will take my case on that. So, yeah, that's everything I'm going through right now. But at least me and my wife get to go see. It's fine. Like I said, I mean, I'm out my scooter. I'm out the very expensive helmet and leather jacket that I was wearing, which if I wasn't wearing the helmet and the leather jacket, I'm sure I probably would not have been able to walk away from the accident and would have been in an ambulance with massive amounts of medical debt. But thankfully I had the leather jacket on, I had the helmet on, and so I was able to walk away with very little injuries. I mean, I was bruised up my right side where I hit the truck, but beyond that, I was able to walk away from it. So any accident you can walk away from is a godsend. But yeah, so now I'm fighting with the attorneys I'm fighting to try and find an attorney who will actually take the case. No attorney wants to take the case against the police department for the excessive use of force claim. Though I am working on that as well. Right now, I'm kind of gathering evidence, which I'm going to take to the attorney and be like, as you can see, based on the evidence I have collected, the police that arrived did not attempt in any way, shape, or form to do any kind of investigation. Simply started attacking me for no reason. And then, of course, I'm filing a complaint against a particular officer not related to the excessive force case. That was kind of being a dick. I called the police to file a noise complaint against my neighbors who, over this past weekend, were blasting music from 5 p.m. Saturday night into, I want to say, probably about 2:30 in the morning, Sunday morning. And so I'm like, I just want the noise to stop. I want them to shut down their party and so that I can actually go to bed. So I can get up in the morning and do my stream. Because on the days when my wife doesn't need to go to work, I am usually up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And on the days when my wife does have to go to work, I'm up at 2:15 or 1:45 to 15 in the morning. But I start setting up my streams at 4 a.m. Beginning with making and then downloading a 30-second clip of the previous week's stream for that day. Then getting it all edited and set up. And then then once I have that all done, I wait a little bit. Then I start doing the go live notices at around 4:55 a.m. currently. Alright, looks like I have another ad break incoming. So I'm going to take another 5-minute break. This will be the last break of the stream, most likely. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. Nobody go anywhere. And then when I'm done with the stream, I'll be raiding out, so I'll let you guys know that. And so stick around for that as well. Back in 5 minutes. back for the last time of the stream. Alright. I just watched the most hilarious video. This guy reacting to another... It was a reaction video. This guy that does D&D reaction... or D&D themed reactions to videos that he watches, and this guy is like, "Hi, I'm Big Red the Necromancer, and today we're doing an unboxing. Stay tuned for part 2. You won't want to miss it." As he's putting a shovel into a grave, and the D&D guy, who's usually quite vocal, goes, "What the F?" And it's like, Alright. So yeah, Fridays I play my full schedule is Wednesdays I play Retail WoW. Thursdays I play Classic WoW. I love that Blizzard did WoW Classic because it really is a nostalgia thing for me to be able to go back and play the old content without the current guide rails that Blizzard has instituted with Retail WoW. For example, since January, I have gotten not one, not two, but 12 characters to max level since January. 12 different characters. Granted, some of them were pretty high level to start with, but yeah, it's ridiculous how fast you can get to max level now. And I did it all by doing the battle pet dailies. Just doing the battle pet dailies and the fishing and cooking dailies. That's all I did. Fishing dailies, cooking dailies, and the battle pet dailies. And so, yeah. And I'm now on character number 13. I think I'm on my last set of 4 alliance characters that I'm leveling, and then once those characters are all leveled to max level, I'm going to start on all of the horde characters that I have saved. And because I don't discriminate, I will play both horde and alliance equally, because yeah, I just don't care. I will play them both. But yeah, I think my last character I had, it took me 6 days of gameplay to get to level 80. Then level 10. So ridiculously fast. Now, I actually had somebody complained that I was playing alliance characters. Actually said it was disgusting that I was playing anything other than a horde character. I'm like, you don't see me coming onto your stream and telling you that it's disgusting that you're playing a horde character, anything other than an alliance character. Plus, there are some. There are. Yeah, everyone has their opinion. I see nothing wrong with either one. I'm also one of those weirdos that is both a huge fan of Star Trek and a huge fan of Star Wars. I love watching the Star Trek movies, and I've seen almost every episode of every Star Trek series. And over on Disney Plus, I've seen every Star Wars movie and at least 10 times, and I've watched all the Star Wars series. Thanks to my stepmom, I have a Jedi costume. Because my stepmom's first husband, before she married my father, was a huge nerd. As is my stepmom, so. Yeah. Whereas I had entered a contest to get a walk-on role on Star Trek The Next Generation, which I was super, super excited about. I ended up not getting it, but and then of course I also almost had a walk-on role on Stargate SG-1 too, which I'm also a huge fan of. I've seen every Stargate show. Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis. Stargate Universe. Stargate Origins Catherine, which was kind of a cool little mini movie. So my nerddom nerdy fandoms are quite eclectic. The only thing I cannot condone is being a fan of Naruto. That just, ugh, Naruto sucks. It's just so weird. Could never get into Naruto. I'm definitely a fan of One Piece and Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously, that's what I play on Sundays. But I could never get into Naruto or Code Geass or Geass. Code Geass just never really struck me. Bleach, yeah, I've watched lots of Bleach. Ouran High School Host Club, Sailor Moon, like old school Sailor Moon. I mean, I've got so many different Bleach cosplays, it's not funny. I've got at least 3 different versions of Toshiro Hitsugaya. Uh, I've got two different. I've got a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters cosplay. I've got a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX cosplay. I've got several cosplays of World of Warcraft. I even got a Resident Evil Leon Kennedy costume that I actually wore to not last year's because I didn't get to go to last year's I went to PAX West back in. Thank you for the follow, Roblox One God. I appreciate it. I went to PAX West in 2023. And I wore my Leon Kennedy to PAX West. Which I thought was. I thought the whole thing was really cool. I really wish that there. I mean, I understand the need for the security measures, but I really wish they like you could go through the security once, get tagged that you were clear for security, and then not have to go through security again. Because PAX West was held in 2 different buildings, and there was no way to get from one building to the other building without leaving the building and having to go through security. So anytime I would have wanted to go see something that was, well, technically it was 3 buildings, but 2 of the buildings had a footbridge, so you didn't have to actually exit the building to get from one to the other. But there was a 3rd building that in order to get from one part of the convention to the other, you would have had to exit the building, enter the other building, go through security in the other building, and then when you wanted to go do anything in the first building that you were in, you had to exit the building, go through security at the second building. It just was too much of a pain in the butt for me. It's like, I don't want to keep doing this, so I just spent the entire convention in one building, which got kind of boring after a while, but got to see a lot of really cool stuff. Got to play some Baldur's Gate 3, which was cool. Got to play the newest Tekken, which I thought was really cool. Got to play a lot of indie games and talk to a lot of indie developers. Is there another? Just hold on 1 second. I have to. Okay, I'm just gonna pause that. I'm gonna pause the ad break, which is weird that it's forcing another ad break so soon after I just did one. Unless I didn't do it. Oh, I don't think I did the ad break when I took my 5-minute break. But still, whatever. But yeah, there was so much cool stuff at PAX. It was just like amazing. There were so many cool panels that were done. There was one panel that I wish my wife had been able to go with me to go see, and it was gaming for couples. where they talked about all the different video games that you, or all the different computer games that you can play together as a couple. There were some really cool games. Some really expensive games. But because my wife isn't necessarily a gamer. She's more of the kind of person that like will go to the beach and just wade out into the water. Alright. Okay. Oh yeah, I totally forgot why I was doing that. I was wanting to get the track put down. Alright. I get so easily distracted by what I'm doing. Which I guess is part of the ASD/ADD I'm just so scatterbrained sometimes. But yeah, and then I'm part of a group called this. Alright, cool. I appreciate you letting me know. But yeah, I absolutely loved PAX West, and I'm part of a group called the Seattle Online Broadcasters Association, which is basically just a local group that does Twitch meetups. And they have a PAX West Day 0 meetup the night before. Usually it's at the nearest Hard Rock Cafe. But last year they held it at some weird place, and I was just like, I don't like this. But yeah, so you get to meet up with a lot of really cool streamers. They give away stuff all the time. So if any of y'all ever find yourself in Seattle for PAX, definitely look up Seattle Online Broadcasters Association and make sure to go to the PAX West Day 0 meetup. Okay, gotta hit the snoozy button on the ad break. But yeah, Seattle Online Broadcasters Association, if you're ever in Seattle for PAX West. It is definitely worth going to. They do giveaways and stuff at all the meetups, which are held normally once a month. Sometimes they skip a month. But yeah, have a good time, network with other streamers. Get lots of cool gear giveaways, like in 20 I don't know if they did this every year prior to 2023, but in 2023 they had actual PAX West passes to give weekend passes to give away, and that's how I ended up going to PAX West in 2023. I didn't get the PAX West badge for 2024, so I ended up not going to that. But it's usually a blast. I'm going to try and get to the end of this. I'm going to get to the end of this tunnel and then call it a day. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three. Okay. Almost done. Especially since I am hungry. I know what I want to eat for breakfast this morning. I just have to put it all together. And I want to finish this first. Alright, there we go. Get to the other side of this small piece of water. Oops. 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, shoot. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright. That's a good spot to save things for today. I will be back on tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. GMT, playing some Star Wars The Old Republic, continuing to adventure with the dark side of the Force. So until tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. GMT, peace out, stay frosty, have a great day, and stay tuned for the raid.
This is how the story ends. I've read between the lines. Your pages are a mystery. Your words